So the Mulloon Institute came here and ran a field day probably 2 years ago and did a little bit of work where some other graziers came and they actually did a live physical with the bulldozer and pushed up some dirt, and Cam Wilson from Mulloon came along and did that. That was one project, and then after that we've done some other gully rehabilitation and some dams around the property. A bit of moisture still in it, it's going to pack down well. He made a series of dams that connected to each other with the spillways all at the right levels and everything. In that particular project was the biggest rainfall we'd ever had, so we had 990 mils in 9 days, and all of it stood up, no problem, no erosion, everything was perfect. So I think one of the problems with the productivity is we probably get enough rain. The water's a lot cleaner since we stopped letting the cattle in here. If we can't slow that water down and it's all running out the drains and stuff, we're not getting enough water infiltration, so we're not actually using the available rainfall we have. So the ultimate aim for us with this Mulloon Institute work we've been doing is to rehydrate the soils, slow down the erosion, make more water available and make more use of the rainfall that we get, so we get more infiltration, make our season go a little bit longer. So the exciting thing about regenerative agriculture with grazing and making more use of your water is you can double your stocking rate and improve the land going forward. We have to put kilos onto cattle as cheap as we can. So if we can keep the grass healthier for a longer period of time, that's less inputs we have to put into the cattle, which gives us a much better return and a lot less work to do. So our philosophy with grazing is we need to get away from continuous grazing. Cattle on the land all the time, and that's what's happening all over Australia. And in that model, we just get continued degrading of the land, and we keep putting chemical, fertiliser, diesel inputs in to maintain the same level. So for the last 30 years, our cattle herd is less than it was in the 70s, and our sheep herd is a third of what it was in the 70s. So in actual fact, with all the polypipe, technology, diesel, machines and feedlots, we've gone backwards. So we can't keep continuous grazing. It's not working. At the moment, all agriculture in Australia, the land is declining. So it doesn't matter what system you look at, the only way that people can keep it up at the moment is to put more inputs in, which is more dollars spent. So regenerative agriculture is working more with the nature, making more use of the rainfall, and we can actually improve the land rather than continual degrading it.